Hi friends, this is Krish, the Urban Naxal, and I want to talk about man-woman relationships and what they are about, what they are really about, what their fights are about, and what they are really about. So, when you have a fight, like okay, what are we talking about? Man-woman relationship? We are talking about the boyfriend, the girlfriend, or the husband and the wife, and we are talking about steady relationships where people are committed to each other in the long term, and relationships where both are saying we are serious. Now in this relationship, sex is necessarily a part of this relationship, because if you are not in a sexual relationship, if there is no sex happening between the man and the woman, then you might just as well be friends, or you might just as well be Rakhi sister and Rakhi brother. So, if there is no sex happening, then sexual intimacy, physical intimacy, if that's not happening, then it doesn't matter how good your relationship is. It's not really a man-woman relationship. It has a different vibe. So, we are now talking about the man-woman relationship and how things go wrong in man-woman relationships. And I'm going to give you a very specific point of view. It is my point of view. It is my belief. And people are free to say, no, Krish, that's not the only thing. That's not how it works. You're free to do that, and let's have a discussion on that. I mean, I'm open to discussion. I'm open to correction. And I'm sure there are opposite points of view or other points of view. There will be plenty. There will also be a little bit of, but what about this? Why didn't you talk about this? You only talked about this. Why are you stressing so much on this? Why are you not talking about other things? That is also important, and so on. So keep this in mind when we enter into the discussion. Now, I'm going to talk about the importance of sex, and from a man's point of view. Sexual intimacy, sexual pleasure, pleasure giving, the importance of it from the man's point of view. Because this is a point of view which isn't spoken about much. People don't talk about it too much. It's not considered civilized to talk about it. Men don't like to talk about it too much. Kind of beneath our dignity to talk about it. Women are very quick to cry outraging of modesty, or, chee, what a dirty way to put it, and so on and so forth. But I'm going to try to put it forward in the cleanest, but also the clearest possible way. So here's what I'm basically going to stress on. In all man-woman relationships, one of the things that we see which goes wrong, like there is a bias towards going wrong, is there is a sexual underperformance. There is an underperformance issue sexually, intimacy-wise. Now, I don't want to confuse women by using the word intimacy, because intimacy means many things. Intimacy means sharing your emotions and talking about how you're feeling, and men tend to bottle up what they are feeling. They may not say I love you as often as the women think they should, or women need them to. So there are those things when we say intimacy. Let me not confuse it. I mean, all of these things are valid. I'm not sidelining them. I'm not delegitimizing it. I'm just saying I don't want to confuse the conversation by bringing all these things, all these meanings of intimacy. By intimacy, I mean pleasuring each other sexually. Pleasuring each other sexually. So it's not the man receiving pleasure. It is so much as the man giving and receiving pleasure as one act. It is not two things. These are not two separate things. The act of giving pleasure also receives pleasure. Making a woman come is possibly one of the highest pleasures that a man can receive. Making a woman come with even his finger or his mouth is something that it's an incredible high for a man. I guess most guys will know what I'm talking about. We are not doing you any favors. We are doing ourselves some favors when we give pleasure, when we bring a woman to orgasm. We are enjoying it. We are into it. It is part of our psyche. It is not something we do because it is reciprocal or in exchange for being pleasured. Now, women generally tend to have, now I'm going to make some very broad generalizing sort of statements, and of course I'm going to be attacked for a lot of this, but I'm okay with being attacked. Women generally have a lower sex drive and a lower need for sex and a lower need for being pleasured and a lower frequency of wanting to be pleasured or to give pleasure. Generally speaking, let me say it this way, the frequency of women's need for sexual pleasure or for sexual coming together is a lot less than men, and this goes across ages. Probably in the early years a bit more, later years it fades and fades and fades, and premenopausal years and postmenopausal years. Postmenopausally, I think women's sex drive takes a complete nosedive and they don't want sex or they're not interested in it. They are asexual, or they're about as asexual as a human being can possibly be. They're pretty asexual. That doesn't mean that they're going to tell their husband, okay, now go find love, find sex wherever you want. No, you still want him to be in a committed sexual relationship with you, but you are not there for it, or you are not there for the most part. You are not into it. You are asexual, essentially. This happens to a lot of women. Or sexually reluctant. Hey, come on, yaar, not again. So, women, it's kind of an okay thing for women to say, hey, come on, man, not again. Hey, you're never satisfied, are you? Come on, grow up, be mature. You're a grown-up guy, you got kids. I mean, come on, man, you have to be some kind of a pervert to be wanting it so much. Now, this is pretty mainstream from what I understand, because I talk to a lot of people. It's pretty mainstream. It's a very common phenomenon. Should it be? I say it should not be. Now, one may argue, oh well, this is always the way it has been and this is always the way it will be. Well, not exactly, because remember that in less monogamous societies, guys would simply go right off and find sexual partners. Then they would, especially if they were privileged, strong, accomplished males with power, with privilege in society, with social privilege. It was not really very difficult. It was difficult, no doubt. There were challenges, but they would go out and find, for want of a better word, pussy. They would go out there and find pussy. And I don't mean paid pussy, I don't mean prostitutes, I don't mean escorts. They would go out there and find someone with whom they might exchange sexual favors, or they might take sexual favors. They can build relationships in which sexual favor is built into the relationship. A mentor-mentee relationship can very easily turn into one where sexual favors are given. There are so many relationships where a man might basically power his way into it. So let's be very clear. Unless you are actually inviting a guy to be dirty with you and go out there and have his fun, you really don't want to be underperforming. Or let me put it another way, you need to maintain that aspect of the relationship. And now, of course, this is coming across as an advisory to women, but I'm not just saying it for women as such. I want men to be self-aware of it. Because often what happens is men delegitimize themselves and they say, well, maybe I shouldn't be so demanding. So I guess men delegitimize themselves. They say, "Arey yaar, I'm being too demanding. Hey, come on, man. I don't think we should be expecting it every day or even every week. Hey, I mean, kids have grown up. Yeah, I understand, blah, blah." Yes and no. I mean, I can understand it if you don't have a need for it. But if you do have a need for it, to delegitimize it, to say, no, it's not really a need and all that, I don't think that's the way men should be. And it's not healthy. And so, this is for the men. I think it is right to be demanding. And I don't think it is right to allow it to go sort of underground and look, let's face it, guys, when you are angry, when you're disgruntled, when you feel sexually dissatisfied, when you are horny, or when you may not necessarily be horny down there, but you will be horny up here, you're going to be angry. You're going to be resentful. You are like, what the fuck is this? Who is this woman? Is she my sister or what? Damn, nothing has been happening. Nothing. She doesn't do a thing. I tried telling her nicely so many times. I'm giving hints. I'm talking to her. I'm being nice to her. I'm trying to maintain a good atmosphere around her and a good vibe, but she rejects me. Oh, I have a headache. I'm busy. I'm this. I'm that. This is a fast. I'm fasting. I'm blah 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 blah. One way or another, it's not happening. Nothing happening. So, when this kind of an environment builds up, it leads to fights. And I'm saying this for guys. I'll say this for myself for sure. And I believe it's true of guys. They'll fight. They'll fight about something. You want to go shopping, they'll say fuck off. They could have come along. They could have gone out with you. They'll say fuck off. I'm busy. Because that's resentment showing. That's anger showing. They'll say I'm not interested. You have some togetherness activity. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's visit here. Let's visit our friends. Let's go out. It's been so long since we have gone out. And this guy is like, the fuck here. What is the point of taking this woman out? In any case, I'm not getting any action in bed. So where something matters to me, she doesn't care. Why should I care? I don't give a fuck. Go to hell. And you made me resentful. I don't care if you resent me. I don't care if you're dissatisfied. Fuck you. Guys, go into this mode. And when that happens, the fight happens. The fight is not going to be about him being sexually deprived or him being sexually, shall I use the word, underserviced or unserviced. The fight is going to look like it is about something else. It's about social matters. It's about how he keeps taunting her. It's about how he keeps cutting at her. It's about how he's irritable. It's about how he's not nice to the kids. How he doesn't give time for the kids. Now, can a guy be a genuine asshole even if his wife has been a genuinely good, lovely, pleasurable wife to him? Yeah, sure, of course. Guys, there are assholes. There are guys who are assholes, no two ways about it. They will be assholes no matter what you do. They are absolute assholes. That's their personality. But in general, broadly speaking, I am talking about the guys who can be decent if you're decent to them and who are not decent to you if you're not decent to them. Who will take you to your mother's place if you're decent to them, if you're good to them. Who will spend hours and hours and hours with your boring friends if you've been a good wife to him. Or he says, fuck your friends, I am not interested. I don't want to be with your friends. You go there and be with them yourself. I don't care. Now, it builds distance. A resentful man will start creating obstacles and then it becomes a habit. It's like, fuck this woman anyway. I don't care. I don't want to be with her. Why should I go out of my way? Why should I do anything good for her? Birthdays can get forgotten. Anniversaries can get neglected. You know. Why do these things happen? Now, one of the things that I say there is a syndrome. There is a continuing phenomenon which I would call the sexually neglected husband phenomenon. Now, what is sexually neglected? Well, let me put a number to it or let me define it. Guys will generally whack off, will generally masturbate, shag. I would say roughly once in 2 days, once in 3 days, sometimes daily. Okay, that's a guy. That's just a general dude, any age. Some ages more horny, more often. But generally every dude, every guy. Which means his need arises roughly once every 2 days. Let us assume that he is okay with whacking himself off one in 2 times, or even 2 in 3 times. 2 out of 3 times he whacks himself off. Fair enough. But if he's whacking himself off 20 times in a row, 30 times in a row, 50 times in a row, 100 times in a row, 300 times in a row, now you got a guy who's angry. He whacks himself off, but he is not satisfied. You guys know it. We don't get satisfied with it. We come, but we are not satisfied. So if you got a guy who's dissatisfied, disgruntled, he is going to be angry, he is going to be hostile, maybe inside, maybe not outside. He is going to show it in ways that you're not going to like. And it will lead to fights. It will lead to fights on various aspects. The fight may be about your overspending or your whatever, your behavior or your cooking or whatever it is. It may lead to fights where you, the women, will initiate the fights. But remember one thing, this guy is like a washing machine which has not been oiled. You don't expect a washing machine, washing machines don't need oiling, but a washing machine which has not been maintained, or some other machine which has not been oiled, okay, which has not been regularly serviced, which has not been kept in good working conditions. Think of guys like a machine. Think of them actually like a machine, okay. You don't expect a machine to function optimally or even normally until and unless you maintain it. You don't expect a scooter to drive itself unless you put petrol into it, or if it's an electric scooter, unless you recharge it. Now, you're not going to recharge your guy. You're not going to recharge your guy periodically. He runs out of charge. You may be busy. You may have a terrific busy career. You may be stressed out. Whatever it is. But did you recharge your bike? It's that simple. You are stressed out. Yes. You are ill. Yes. Okay. Fine. You are always tense. Okay. Fine. You are whatever, XYZ. You got 5 kids. You got 5 howling kids. Right. The question will still be, did you recharge your bike? Did you refill your bike? Did you put petrol in your scooter? No. No, but I was very busy. No problem. But it'll still run out. It'll stop. It'll stop in the middle of the road. Then you will get frustrated with the scooter. But think about it. Did you refuel? Did you recharge? So in the same way, the relationship. Did you refuel the relationship? Now, obviously there is a female counterpart argument to this. So there are many discussions. Is he not emotionally available? Blah, blah, blah. I don't feel like it. Okay, so you don't feel like recharging your scooter. You don't feel like refilling your motorbike. Petrol prices are too much, too expensive. So you don't want to put petrol in your bike or your scooter or your car. Right, I get it, totally. But try not doing it. There are consequences, right? It's that simple. It's just that simple. So I think a message to the women out there is, think of a guy like a machine. Just think of him like a fucking machine. Don't think of him like a human being. You'll probably do a better job. You'll probably do a better job of it. Pleasure him. Absolutely fucking pleasure him. Do it. Do it if it kills you. Now, I know I'm going to come across sounding like some kind of a barbarian, or like Prophet Muhammad says, he may be sitting on top of a camel and his body may be full of pus and he may have boils everywhere, but you'll get onto the camel woman and you're going to pleasure him. That kind of thing. So, I know I come out sounding quite barbarian, but let's be real here. You need to maintain that relationship. Just fucking maintain it. There are no two ways around it. Just maintain it. Do what it takes. Do it properly. Do it good. I hope people think about this. I'm Krish, the Urban Naxal, your friend. Jai Maharashtra, Jai Hind, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan.